Welcome to the Weekend Outdoorsman podcast, where our mission is to keep traditions alive, fueled by a passion for the outdoors. Whether you're a bow hunter, a fisherman, or just love the outdoors, then this is the podcast for you. We hope to inspire you as well as many others around you to keep any traditions you may have alive, as well as create new ones. So be sure to subscribe, like, and follow along with us as we're going to go on some great adventures to learn some new information to bring back to you guys, as well as have some awesome guests on here. What's going on, everybody? We want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Weekend Outdoorsman podcast. And this is podcast number 2 for us. And we've got some pretty big names coming onto this one today. We've got 2 heavy hitters in the elk hunting world. We've got Steve Howard and Trent Fisher from the Born and Raised Outdoors crew. For those of you that don't know who these guys are, they are really big into elk hunting. They do some other Western hunting and some fishing and some other really cool things. But their main focus is elk hunting on public land with a bow in hand. And, you know, we're new to elk hunting, and that's why we're bringing these guys on today, is to really just talk to that first-time elk hunter, mainly us as well. So you'll get to hear us asking questions, things we want to know, and things that hopefully you as a listener are going to want to, know as well. And so these guys have been real big for us. Starting out, we relied on them heavily for information, looking them up on YouTube and doing a lot of research through these guys. And, if you're wanting to go on that elk hunt as well, feel free to check them out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Their handle is Born and Raised Outdoors. And so if you want to check them out, get over there, head over to YouTube and things, and you'll learn some pretty cool things from these guys. So again, we've got a really special one for y'all today. And we can't wait to share it with you. Well,
awesome.
You guys ready to get going? Y'all got any questions for us?
Whenever you are.
Or...
No, anything's open game. Let it rip,
Sweet.
Go for it.
Sweet. Well, guys, Trent, Steve, we just want to thank y'all for coming on and being a part of the Weekend Outdoorsman podcast. And, I got to say, and I'm pretty sure my brother could attest to this, last year was our first go elk hunting. And, when we started doing a lot of the research, y'all were the guys that we went to. You were the guys that we looked at, studied, did a lot of research on. And we just couldn't thank y'all enough for taking the busy time out of your evening, especially with, season upon us and everything. And so we just want to thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we got a quick little icebreaker we want to throw at y'all. Something that we're going to throw. Y'all are actually our first inaugural guests on the podcast. And so...
Boy, you guys didn't raise the bar too high, now did you?
No.
Yeah, when he said we were doing this, I was like, okay, that seriously? 'Cause I feel like you're joking right now.
Heck yeah. No, go ahead. Good. Rapid fire. Let's do this, man.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to go first, we'll ask y'all. It's a series of 5 questions. It's going to kind of be like a rapid fire round. We're going to call it thin ice. Some icebreakers. So we're going to throw 5 questions at each of you. Whoever wants to go first, doesn't matter. But first question.
I'll let Steve have that. I'll let Steve go first. This should be good.
First one, hunting or fishing?
Oh, hunting.
Knew that one.
100%. I'm a horrible fisherman. Fisherman.
I love to fish, but hunting's probably taking that kick.
I figured y'all might say that. Next question. What's your strangest talent?
Dang. Strangest talent. It's for the kids.
For the
kids. For the kids. No, I guess one for me would be I'm actually a decent swimmer. A lot of people probably don't know that. So that came up somehow the other day about did a few triathlons and stuff, and that would be something that people probably don't know about.
Really?
The running and biking part, really terrible, horrifying. But the swimming part,
I think the running would get me.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's been quite a few years for me for any crazy talents, but I used to be pretty good on a skateboard, actually. So
nice.
And I can juggle. So
can you juggle, Steve?
It's been a little bit, but I was doing it the other day, and I was starting to catch back onto it. So
we're gonna definitely do that.
Are we gonna see that on 3.0?
Is that gonna make the cut?
I hope so.
There could be some juggling. Who knows what it'll be, but there could be some juggling.
Last we saw Nacho Trente, I think is what it was.
It's not a talent. It just wasn't a talent.
It was awesome.
It was awkward is what it was. But yeah.
It was awesome.
I feel like we need to see some bugle tubes getting thrown around this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
That might take a little practice.
All right, next question. What was your first job?
My first job was lawn care when I was 12 years old for elderly couple, actually, that kind of lived around us. And I worked for them for many years, taking care of. They had like a giant rose garden, and they had like a super elaborate lawn and everything. And I worked for them for like 3 days a week through all through grade school and everything. So that was it for me.
Mine was summers down at my uncle's truck shop, his long haul truck business, washing trucks, loading trucks, doing stuff like that every summer in high school.
Sweet.
Did that. That was my first job.
Mine was picking peaches on a farm out here in Fredericksburg, Texas.
Was that in the summer?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Peach fuzz, or it was bad. It was bad.
Hot.
Yeah. I bet it was warm.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine was doing similar to Trent, mostly lawn work around 10 acres for somebody just outside of town that our dad knew. And
oh yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
I remember.
Love it.
All right, guys. Last thin ice question before we get into it. If you could have any celebrity to be your best friend, who would you pick?
Steve Howard.
Oh man. Honestly, it's a bummer because he's passed away, but it would have definitely been Clint Eastwood. That dude was legit.
Legit.
Yeah.
He's not here anymore, so I don't know. I'll have to think about that for a sec. Trent?
I got kind of the same one a little bit, honestly, would be Roy Roth, probably. He was pretty, I mean, I'm not saying celebrity. I don't know what states as a celebrity, but something, around those lines. I would have liked to have actually hung out with him more. But
he was a legit man. He was
great person. Yeah.
I like it. That's awesome, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on from the thin ice section, and we'll see where this goes. We might go down a couple rabbit holes. You never know. So first and foremost, tell us how did y'all get born and raised outdoors started? Where did it all begin?
Yeah, no, that was it started in 2007 actually, and it started with me and Trevor, honestly, and we'd seen a lot of films. I mean, we all grew up watching Primos and stuff like that and the elk hunting side of things. And we'd all hunted. And we just didn't have, the Roosevelts were never represented by anybody, It was, you'd see one hunt maybe a year from, if you could find this video and that video or something. But that's all we had back then was just DVDs. Well, VHS actually back then. So anyway, we just wanted to produce a Roosevelt video, honestly. And the ultimate goal there was to pay for our hunts, to pay for like the week that we took off work for tags is what we just wanted enough to pay for our tags. And anyway, and it's just, it's gone down a ton of different roads since then. And it's morphed into what it is now, but that's kind of the way it started. It's just Trevor took out a school loan, honestly, and bought the first camera. We still haven't paid him back for that either, so that's cool. But I just figured that's a donation at this point. So
yes,
yeah. So anyway, and took out a school loan, bought the camera. We kind of figured how to use it, and then we all filmed with it that first year. And just to back up more, how we brought in Cody and stuff into the fold was we needed some other people. Cody was really good at editing and stuff, and he was really good at computer stuff like that. So brought him in, and then Ty as well, because he needed someone. Because if Cody lives about an hour, just over an hour away from Steve and I, so. Anyway, so he brought in Ty on his side of the mountain so they could hunt afternoons over there. And then for Steve wise, I knew Steve was a good hunter. He was real in the community as far as hunting wise. He's very accomplished. And so what I did was, because Trevor was at dental school, so I didn't have a hunting partner over here where I live. So anyway, so I contacted Steve, got a hold of him, asked him, hey, would this be something that you'd want to kind of get into and do with me? And he was all in. And then from there on, it's just been kind of a family affair kind of thing.
Well, that's pretty awesome to hear. Brothers getting it started and, just like you said, making it a family affair. So I guess you could say, Richard and I have kind of essentially following that same path, doing our own thing.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how, now we have 4 or 5 employees and 2 different cameramen and a warehouse that we, for our clothing and stuff. And it's just been a crazy wild ride of events, and it's been ups and downs, since we started. It's the entrepreneur kind of thing, so, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun and a big journey for us. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome to hear, guys. That's pretty cool. I know, Richard, you got a next question for him?
Yeah. So, I think a lot of people have seen, if they follow you on social media and stuff like that, y'all just announced a Born and Raised Call Company. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that y'all can share with us about that, or, what's all that about? What are you looking to do with that? I know we're pretty excited to see what comes of that.
Yeah, definitely. No, we honestly, we talked about it years and years and years ago. And anyway, it's just been, we wish we would have done it back then, but at the same time, it just wasn't the right timing for us. We just didn't have the structure. We've just learned lately that manufacturing is a real, it is a tough deal as far as that goes. And so We're at the point now where we can kind of deal with some of those rocks and hard places, so yeah, we never could have done it back in the day, but we've got some totally different calls than anything that's on the market coming out. And we'll be releasing that as we go. And they're still in prototyping. So I can't say exactly what it's going to be yet, because we're still working on it. So, but it's going to be pretty impressive and pretty amazing. And we brought on another guy to help us. His name's Eric Strand, and he's big if anybody knows waterfowl, they know Eric Strand. He's like giant, and he's a world champion goose caller, and he duck hunts and he guides for ducks and goose. And so we brought him on to kind of help us do the manufacturing side of the duck side of things as well. And it's been great. It's been really, really cool having him, and just his knowledge on that side of things, pretty impressive. So yeah, so it's going to be a well-rounded. We're going to do it all, man. We're going to do turkey, duck, you name it. And as we grow, we'll bring on more stuff as well. But right off the bat, we're going to start out with elk because that's pretty much our background, So, yeah, we got some pretty exciting stuff.
I know we can't wait to see what it's all about and what you guys are going to bring to the table. I'm sure there's a ton of people out there who are in the same boat we are. So
I hope so.
That's awesome.
I can't wait for the turkey calls because I'm a turkey nut.
Steve's a turkey man. Steve ain't
used to be. I haven't done it in quite a few years, but
well, you did it in Chelsea this year. You guys killed one.
Yeah, that was the first time in quite a few years. But back in the day, man, it was.
Oh gosh, I remember you had turkeys racked up by the dozen.
This past spring, seriously, anytime I talk to him, I was like, call him when I'm on my way home from work. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm coming back from the ranch, went turkey hunting this morning, or stayed out there for a few. Like, dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
With it, and elk hunting is the new obsession for me now.
I think that's both of us.
Yeah, both.
So you guys just started this last year, correct?
Yes.
We did. Okay. You guys are in the phase of in the past. Okay, yeah. No, it's you guys are in the phase of learning so much in the next couple of years that it's gonna be awesome. You guys are gonna have a blast.
We're excited.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to head up this year. Somebody decided to failed to do a little bit of simple math and decided to have a little one on the way in October. So It's cutting it a little too close. But
cutting her close.
Of all the reasons, I got to give him that one. He gets to pass on that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, hey, at least.
Well, congratulations, though.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It's awesome.
My wife and I are, I'm sure y'all know, everybody here but me. I'm all nervous and excited at the same time. Don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It's all going to be different.
Yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's one of those things you're never ready for, but when it comes, you'll be ready.
Oh, yeah.
It'll work. It'll be fine. Steve's done it before.
Oh, yeah. 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 It was real exciting when I heard there was 2 heartbeats, not one. So the twins that was next level.
Girls or boys?
Good times, though. All girls. I got 4 women in the house. I'm the only man.
Well, I don't
have much say.
You and me both.
I love it.
Well, guys, the main subject that we really wanted to focus on for this podcast, one of the main reasons I want to bring you on too is, we want to reach out to that first time elk hunter. I used to manage an archery shop down here in Austin, and now you can kind of see behind me, I've got my own archery shop at the house. And after I went elk hunting, I got a ton of guys coming in asking questions, and maybe y'all can kind of speak on this better than I could. They're first time elk hunters, and the common misconception that a lot of these guys have is they got to go get a guide. They don't understand the public land that's available to them. And so what do you guys have to say, for that guy?
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I think it really just all depends on the person. In my opinion, if somebody can afford and want to do a guided hunt, I personally have nothing against that because that's people trying to make a living too. But, we've grown up over here. There really has never been a whole lot of guiding in the state where we got, especially for Roosevelt. So we grew up having to just hunt public land and, timber company that was open to the public to be able to walk in or ride bikes in on or whatever. So, it's just really, for me, it's just to do a lot of research, just really research an area, pick an area, research that area, talk to, biologists, game wardens. With technology today, especially back when we started, we didn't have the technology that we have today. So it was maybe an old paper map and lots of money and fuel and boots on the ground. And I mean, that's how we had to scout back then. But with today's technology, it makes it a lot easier and not as expensive for that first time hunter to be able to look at an area, make the phone calls. And then my best of advice is just to stay positive, go out there, enjoy it. Not every elk hunt's like what you're going to see on TV. It's, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, there's going to be down, there's going to be areas that aren't going to have the elk at that time, especially if you're in the Rocky Mountains. Those elk move a lot. We've hunted areas that one year it was loaded. We go back in that area the next year and there's elk, but not what it was like the year before. So you just got to stay positive. And that's, I've learned that over the years too. Myself personally, just, anymore, it's just stay positive and have fun and enjoy the experience. And, it'll get a lot better with time and success will come and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good to hear because, I know when we first went last year, our plan A, we unpacked the whole entire camp. We were excited to be there. We get up on the side. I mean, we were going through some serious elevation changes, and I think our dad hated us that entire day.
Yeah, we took him up to, I think it was 11,000 feet day one.
Yeah,
he was probably not happy with you.
so mad. He won't let us live it down to this day.
No, we will never hear the end of that. And I don't know if he was more mad at us for coming down 11,000 feet at the end of the day, if it was the downhill, because I mean, we were going through some pretty thick stuff, pretty steep
downfall.
And once we were actually down and back to some of the roads, it ended up being, what was it, about 2 miles back to camp once we were on road with probably 600 feet in elevation shift along the road just to get back to camp. And
it was bad. It was a learning experience, but
yeah. Another thing that I would say too to the first time hunters is don't be afraid to be mobile. Don't think you have to stay in one spot. Trent and I talked to a young couple last year at the Hunt Expo in Utah. Remember that young guy and girl, Trent, that first year they went, they stayed in one spot for, what was it, 3 weeks?
21 days.
21 days, wow. And how many elk did they see?
0.
And then they got some advice from us on, like, stay mobile, don't be afraid to move around, have backup spots, and just, go just check out new spots. And that next year they went there. I mean, it was a life changer for them as far as in the elk woods. So
yeah. No, I think Steve said it best. I think you hit the nail on the head, Steve, the one thing I would press on a little bit more is a little bit of fear. Coming from a background of, we've hunted elk ever since we were born with our dads, with our cousins, uncles, grandpas. We grew up with it. And so, our learning curve is a lot different as far as just a fear of doing it all by ourselves. And I couldn't imagine, we run into a lot of these people from Pennsylvania and all these places back east. They've never hunted elk in their lives, and they're just going, this is the first time they've seen the Rocky Mountains. This is the first time, it's like, holy moly, when you think about that, that is a fear factor, man. It's a big undertaking. And I think Steve said it best as far as technology nowadays. Even 15 years ago, you didn't have any of the Onyx maps, and you didn't have any of these things. You were just getting a map that that you could buy at the local ranger station, and you were going to go for it. It's really cut down the learning curve where you can get on this computer. You can pretty much map your hunt out all the way start to finish, and without even setting foot in the state, let alone in the area that you're going to be going. And it's just breaking down those barriers of, okay, well, I don't have the best pack, so I can't go. No, you can do it with anything. Well, I don't have the broadheads, or I don't have the bow that Steve shoots, so I can't, I'm not going to be successful. We can do that. I think as humans too, we put those walls up, and it's just like, man, if you just go outside the box and just break down those barriers one at a time and say, okay, I've got the utensils to do it. I've got the know-how. It's honestly, when you think about it, it's not that much money if you want to just save for it and have a goal for the year to go do.
Yep.
It's just pulling that trigger and just doing. It's just going out and just saying, okay, I'm going to do this. And we have never, ever talked to one person that said, man, I regret doing that. Never once. Every single person we've ever talked to has been just like, man, why did I wait this long? We hear that so often.
Yeah.
Why did I wait until I was mid-30s or 40s until I
I mean, I could even say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is. It's a fear factor thing that we don't understand as much. But, man, I can totally see that now, from talking to people and stuff.
Yeah.
And like you were talking a minute ago, like about gear. When we started doing this, it took us years of building up gear. I mean, because, it's not cheap. So it's like, you don't have to have the best of the best right off the get-go, just the bare essentials to get you out there, and then you can build from there. And things get lighter, equipment gets better over the years, just save up a little bit here and there and buy, and you can just upgrade down the road. And then it just, makes the weight a little bit less down the road. But, we were packing a lot of weight back in the day when we started.
Yeah. Yeah, so. and we still do at times. We still do, just because of stubbornness. But yeah, I mean, it's just that whole thing of just, we say just go, just do it, just do it.
And see, that's what I would tell a lot of the guys that would come into the shop. I would tell them, look, you don't have to drop a crazy amount of money on a bow. If you've got an old Matthews, or you got an old Hoyt, whatever it is, you can use that, fix it up a little bit.
Bear.
Yeah. An old Bear, whatever it is. I would tell guys though, since we're on gear now, I would tell guys the one thing I would, if you could focus and put more of your dollars into, I would always tell them you need to get a good pair of boots. Out of it, like first and foremost, get a good pair of boots and try to find a really good pack, and kind of based off of that, what are y'all's guys' opinions on that? Y'all think that's pretty solid advice? Or
boots are a big one, because if your feet get destroyed, you're done. Yeah. I mean, that's just inevitable. If you got too many blisters, if you can't stay on your feet, you're done hunting. So a good pair of boots. I would also recommend a good, higher quality wool sock, especially in the fall with the heat and stuff. And then, probably next would be a good pack, something that fits you good and is comfortable with a heavy load in it. And also, like you were saying, even if it's an older bow, go to your local archery shop and make sure that your bow is tuned. That you're shooting, your broadheads are shooting good. Everything's good with your bow, because if your bow's out of tune and stuff, that's going to be serious problems. So,
yeah, I think it comes down to confidence on the whole thing, on everything that we're talking about. I think from the boots, right? The biggest thing that I've kind of talked about in the past is like, the longer you're comfortable out there, the more your success is going to be. The longer you're going to stay, the longer you're going to, so the big three things that I was is boots, number one. And I would say number two is your clothing. If you get cold, you're going to want to go home. That's bottom line. If you get cold and miserable or wet, if you're not ready for those elements, you're going to want to go home. So your three to me is your sleeping bag and your clothes and your boots. And after you get those things, we've ran into guys. Well, we used to use the old Boy Scout metal frame packs. That's what I started out with, and it worked. They worked just fine. But just staying out there, just having the stuff to stay in those elements and be comfortable is going to help you boatload to stay and do the hunt,
Yeah, because if you only have a week, you want to try to spend every day in the field that you can.
Yes.
Try to be successful.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we spent half a day moving spots, because the first spot we went to, just old sign, super old sign. We found our next spot, plan B, and I think within not even a quarter mile of camp, we found fresh bed, fresh scat everywhere. I mean, we finally found them, got into them. But
yeah.
Fresh tracks, just
see, and I think that's
actual sign.
That's another big thing, guys, as far as I think there was a movement, let's say 3 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago, probably, is this quote unquote backcountry hunt. You've got to be at least 5 miles in the backcountry to be actually hunting. And Steve and I, we did it. That's what we did. I mean, we didn't even start hunting until we were 5 miles. It seemed
5 minimum.
Oh, we're idiots. And it was just like, now we go into an area and we'll go like in that 1.5 to 3 mile range a lot of times and just kind of just make a loop through there. If we don't find what we want, we're bailing. We're getting out of there because there's just not enough sign. I think that's a lot of people just stick and stay because they saw elk here 2 years ago, or whatever it may be. Yeah. The elk are going to tell you where they're at. I mean, you're going to see if they're there, they're there. If they're not, get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Yep. That's I know Richard and I were talking about a week ago. We're already planning for 2021, and we're looking at. I feed my addiction by getting on Onyx and Google Earth probably twice a day, scoping out new spots, trying to find clearings, saddles, old burns, you name it, whatever it may be. And
water.
Yeah. And we're talking like, what, this next time when we go, let's not make that same mistake where we unload the entire camp the first day. Let's just kind of get essentials, see if they're there. If they're not, then we get out of there.
Move on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Technology is amazing, man.
It is. It's crazy.
So is that kind of y'all's, like, what's kind of your typical time frame of how long you're going to decide to stay in an area? And, like, are you looking for sign? Are you like, do you need some kind of like eyes on an animal?
Right.
Or what's,
it's probably changed for us. So it's like 5 years ago was 6 years ago when we were still doing that. I mean, we were going in 9 days.
Yeah.
Having one spot, and then we were hunting from there. And then the last, 3 or 4 years, we started breaking down to 4 days and just covering ground with camp on our back. And it was, I thought that was a huge game changer for us.
The Cat Road Shuffle.
No, Steve said it. Yeah. I mean, we used to pack, 9 days of food. We were in it. We were going. And it was just like, now we pack 4 days. And if we haven't found what we want to or killed an elk, usually we'll be fortunate enough to kill an elk in that 4 day stretch. And then we'll be packing meat anyway. So we'll be headed out at that point to the trucks or something. So, but if not, and we haven't seen anything, we're going to be bumping spots. We're going to be moving.
Yeah.
So I know I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but, just kind of based off of, that information now. So for y'all's recommendation for that first time hunter, would y'all tell them to kind of set up that base camp at the truck and just be able to be mobile, or should they take a chance and go in 9 miles or whatever it may, however far, kind of like how y'all said y'all started out doing?
I think it just depends on the hunter. I really do. Yeah. I think there's guys that you're going to have those guys that are just those hardcore, I've trained all year for this, which is totally awesome. And they're going to go in deep, which is cool. That being said, you want to have everything in place if you're going to do that. You want to make sure you can get that animal out before it spoils, for one. Yep. If you're in a lower elevation or something, you don't get those cold nights, that animal, you're going to, your first number one is taking care of that animal. So, to make sure that's checked off the list, and then go as far as, you can physically do it. But what a lot of guys will do is they'll come and they'll go and they'll hit it hard. I mean, that first 2 days, they are just, it's elk season, go. And they just burn themselves to where they're so sore by day 3 and 4, they're pretty much lazing around and not, doing anything. I would definitely say just get a pace, and it doesn't have to be fast. We cover probably anywhere from, I would say 7 to 15 miles on the high end a day. But we are constantly moving. We're never really stop to just staying in one place. We're always moving, usually from basin to basin or however it may be, and then setting up, okay, if we don't see him here, we don't see him here, let's make a loop back around and get, back to the pickup and get out of here. So, yeah. So everyone's different, I think, but there's definitely a lot of profitable elk hunting in that mile to 3 mile zone in that.
But if there is somebody like Trent was saying that wants to go deep, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, we've done it. We did it for years. I mean, we had fun, but if it's a first time elk hunter, even only been doing it a couple of years and you're going to go deep, and if there's not enough of you, I highly recommend looking into a packer to help you get that elk out. It's not that expensive to save that meat. I mean,
And two, let's say you've got 2 guys, right? You have 2 tags and you go in and you have 7, let's say you have 10 days of hunting. Okay. Let's say you can hunt 10 days. You go in there, you kill an elk for 2 guys to get that whole elk out 5 miles. Let's just say it's 5 miles. That's going to be a day and a half to get that elk out, because you're going to have to make numerous trips in there, and then you're going to have to get in your pickup from there. You're going to have to drive clear to the nearest town to get it hung up or whatever, you're going to process it or however, get it to a cooler, and then you got to turn around and drive all the way back. So essentially what I'm getting at here is every elk that you kill, you're losing 2 to 3 days. Honestly, you're not hunting. So you do that with 2 elk. So you guys both kill elk. There's 6 days almost right there. Whereas a packer comes in and gets them for you. How much is 6 days worth of hunting? A packer's about $700. 6 days worth of hunting is way more worth it to me, honestly. And to have the, not as much fatigue by having to pack all those animals out. You know what I mean? So kind of be smart about it, I would say. And definitely look at your resources that you might have to maximize that 1 month of September that you have, or that 10 days or that 7 days or whatever your window may be.
Because we learned the hard way back in the day.
Oh, God.
We packed a lot of bulls out of the backcountry.
I think that was when we got a little further back in there, like once we kind of crossed that 3 mile mark during the day, we'd kind of sit there and kind of look at each other, and sometimes we'd say it and sometimes we wouldn't. Like, how's this going to go if we actually get one down?
Yeah.
And you hear people that, then you do that size thing, right? It's going to have to be a big one.
Yeah. It's got to be a big one.
Then you kind of look over to the look at Dad, and you can tell he's just about for killing elk right now. He's gonna that first day when we got up, like once we crossed the 10,000 mark, I mean, he was just kind of looking at us, and we had some meadows that we were wanting to go check out. And you could feel him staring at the back of your head. Like, if we actually do something up here, oh, you owe me more than you already do.
I'm going to kill you guys.
We're going to get him some good boots for Christmas.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Just like Richard kind of spoke on earlier, this has kind of been, I think, 15 years in the making. Just, we'd gone to Colorado for vacation in the summers. We'd see elk up there in the summer, and we'd always tell ourselves, man, how can we do this? We want to do that one day. We want to do that. And then last winter, I was working at a outdoor store in Austin, and had an opportunity, and I called Richard and my dad up, and I said, you know what? We're going to go do it. Let's just go do it. We're going to do research. We'll figure it out on the way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'd say it goes even further back. I mean, at least for me, and I'm sure for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being a kid, like Saturday and Sunday mornings, I'd get I'd wake up early to get my cartoon time, but my dad, like he's always been huge into wildlife, from a kid on up. Yeah. And I don't know if y'all remember, I think it was Marty Stouffer's Wild America.
Yeah.
We've watched every single one, man.
I mean, that was watching that growing up as a kid, Saturday mornings, and just seeing that stuff and being like, I want to see that, I want to experience that.
Yeah.
And then, as we got into hunting, getting older, just doing that whenever we could, it just kind of progressed. And kind of like we talked about earlier, I feel like there's a big barrier where people think it's so out of reach. And, to what you and Steve said, like last year, I think that was just, we finally just said, you know what, we're going to do it, and we're going to figure out how to make it happen, and we'll go from there. So, and a lot of that came from y'all, like seeing y'all do it, getting out there and just showing people, hey, this isn't as unattainable and unreachable as people think it is.
Absolutely. When we started, it took us, so you think about our journey, we elk hunted all our lives. We started in 2007 with Born and Raised Outdoors. It wasn't until 2013 that we ever went out of state. We never went out of state. It took us that long, even guys that hunted all our lives, that long to make that leap, to go and try something different like that. So yeah, it's a big undertaking, but I think a lot of it is just, it's in our heads that it's unattainable and that it's, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars and all this stuff. It really doesn't,
Yeah. And then when you hear that first bugle, that first actual bugle, not a hunter, oh man, I can't even explain that. I know it just sends that shock down your spine.
No, this year we hired 2 new cameramen they're both from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So none of them they've never even, the one, he'd never even seen an elk before just the other day. And neither one of them never heard an elk bugle before either. So it's going to be very, very interesting this year. And honestly, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to most, is kind of reliving those kind of times, through them and just watching their excitement, as it all goes down. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Oh man. Well,
if we can find one that bugles, actually.
Yeah. We had I think that last night, our last full day, we got chased off the mountain by a storm. It's lightning above our heads, and we're thinking, crap, we left Dad at camp. He was just hanging out because he was tired. And we thought, crap, we better get back. He's going to be yelling at us up and down a wall. We get back. He's just looking at us like, what are y'all doing? We're like, we figure we better get off the mountain before we get yelled at. 10 minutes go by, and he points up the trail at us. And he goes, what is that? We're like, we think he's pulling our leg, like he's done since we were kids. And we look up the trail. Mm-hmm. There's a bull standing 80 yards from camp.
Oh, gosh.
The next morning, I think 50 or 60 yards, could never get a shot. But just the fact that we had that, and we had elk, just there, and we got to see them. We got to see some cows. We saw, smaller bull. That moment right there, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. Growing up in Texas, it was opening day of dove season was kind of what signalized fall hunting for me. And I think Richard could probably attest this too, but
not anymore.
It's elk season now.
That's so awesome, man. That's cool, guys.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate to be able to do that too. Pretty fortunate. But
yeah, we are all pretty blessed.
Yes.
Definitely. I know, I think Richard, you got a question for him next, don't you?
Yeah. So, we were kind of talking about getting the eyeballs from our dad being up high on the mountain, and just kind of some of the terrain that we've seen. And, there's talking about kind of the fear factor, the intimidation, things can get pretty hairy out there. I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination to say, if you're not on your toes and paying attention, like anything could go wrong.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had a situation like that where, pretty hairy, kind of, once you're through it, make you sit back and scratch your head a little bit and
Story for us.
What just happened here?
Oh, we've had a few.
That you can share.
Maybe the better question is, are there any that you can speak of?
Oh, shoot. Go ahead, Steve.
I've had numerous interactions with wounded black bears that have been pretty hairy.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not really too afraid of bears anymore. So I've hunted Alaska a couple times on Kodiak for Sitkas, and my bear spray and my pistols inside my backpack. So
Definitely.
I've had some hairy situations with bears. But
it usually drags me right into the middle of it. Usually,
looking for wounded black bears at night is not the smartest thing to do. But
no,
I've done it multiple times, but I've never been injured yet.
I think we talk about this a lot too, as far as, being prepared for the hunt, and you can put that in a ton of different categories. There's been a lot of times, just simple stuff, like you guys experienced it probably. You guys got that rainstorm coming in, lightning. It just, the wind kicks up just like that. In a matter of minutes, and it's hailing, and it sounds like the whole world's coming down on top of you. I know you guys I've seen it just in your guys' year that you hunted. So,
last year, Wyoming, that was cool.
Yeah, no, we almost got struck by lightning. It was just right beside us and scared the tar out of us. And there's, but one thing that you can do to prevent a lot of these things is like where we're at in Colorado, there's a lot of beetle kill, a ton of beetle kill. So, there's just dead forests all over. And just a real simple thing that I tell people, because I grew up cutting timber, and so I was always looking up and stuff like that, is before you pitch your tent at night, look up, just see what's around you, see what dead trees might be around you. Because like you guys have seen, it can get windy. It can blow 40 or 50 in no time at all. Yeah. And we had one year where we had a limb come down over a tent, and luckily nobody got hurt, Yeah. But yeah, just kind of. And another thing that we do, all of us, every single one of us have permanent reach. And it's just a little device that actually you can text message through, and you can also send a help button, and it goes straight to the U.S. Embassy. Hey, I need help right here. This is my GPS coordinates. So it's really cool. But just to have those things in place, just for a safety precaution, for family safety and, peace of mind, that kind of stuff is definitely important.
And watching the weather too, like last year in Wyoming, we saw that storm coming and we knew it was going to be bad. So we were trying to get off the mountain because we knew it was going to be a bad lightning storm. And we got lucky. That bolt hit. It was so close. When it hit that aspen, you could smell the aspen burn, and it was like a gun going off in your ear. It was very, very close.
It was loud.
That'll make your hair.
Oh man, it was.
Yeah. It's amazing though, and I imagine for you guys too, it's a whole different climate to where we go hunting in the fall to where we live all year. It's just that one, that 1 month out of the year, you're going in some pretty serious stuff, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It
can be shining the next minute it's going to snow.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a huge, we were lucky. We got to go up there when we were younger, so we kind of got to experience it a little bit. But for us, I think Thursday and Friday this week, 100 degrees. A couple of weeks ago, it was 105. I was driving home from picking my kids up, and the thermometer in the truck is saying it's 109. And we're not quite a month out from bow season now, so it's a little different experience, especially in those early seasons.
It's a relief.
You guys know that They make houses in other states and stuff like that. You guys can move,
Oh, my wife and I joke about it. We're like, if we're ever going to move out of Texas, we're going to Colorado. We're going there.
I always say Wyoming, but I've only spent the summers and the falls in Wyoming. Yeah. I've never spent a winter in Wyoming, and I gotta imagine. No, I gotta imagine that's miserable.
Cold.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of cold.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's pretty cool to hear, though. One last question I kind of have for y'all, to speak out to that first-time hunter again, is what do you tell that guy out there that's worried about, touching on, bears, mountain lions, other predators? Because I would have guys come in that they'd come in and be like, well, you carry like a 10 millimeter with you? You got your bear spray? Like, what are you carrying up there on you, man? Like, did you see a lot of bears? And so what do y'all say to that guy?
We've been very fortunate, and honestly, I'll speak from my point of view, and I think Steve's probably the same way. We're pretty naive about it, probably. We're a little lackadaisical because, a lot of times, it wasn't until just 2 years ago, I never packed a gun ever. I've never packed bear spray ever. None of that stuff. It's just never really crossed our mind, really. We'll be in grizzly country a little bit this year when we head into Montana, probably. So I'll probably stop and get something for there, but I'm gonna pack a pistol with me, and it's mainly just for. Sounds terrible, but it's not for bears. It's for people. There's, if you run into a crazy out there, you never know. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just something. But.
The bear. I don't know as much on black bears. Because we live here with them. Mm-hmm. And I've hunted them my whole life, and I've heard of a few stories, but probably, like I said, when I was in Alaska, I saw them. We packed $2 out for 2.5, 3 hours in the middle of the night on Kodiak Island to our boat. I never thought of a bear, and we went through some thick alder patches. I actually never thought about a bear once, but would be like a sow with cubs to me would be the one thing, especially grizzly, that would be the one thing that I would highly recommend people pay very close attention to, because sows can be very aggressive, especially if they have cubs. Schmidt and I ran into those cubs a couple of years ago in Montana, and as soon as I saw the cubs, usually the cubs always trailed the sow. So fortunately for us, she was passed. But the first thing we did is we booked it out and got to open country where we could see 360 degrees around us, and he got his pistol out, and I was still digging my bear spray out of the pack because I leave it in the pack for some reason. But
Steve.
Yeah, good call. But I don't know. There's just not a whole lot of attacks on black bears. There's more black bear attacks, but you got Alaska and stuff like that where they get into the rural areas. But like out in the country hunting, probably the only thing I really think about the most is probably like a grizzly sow with cubs. If someone's going to be hunting grizzly country, I would be definitely pay attention for those.
And we've hunted. Cougars never crossed my mind, and wolves. We've had wolves howling all around our tents before, and just making all kinds of ruckus. We've never really nothing. It just the odds of that. I don't know. I kind of look at odds, right? Especially with all this Corona stuff going on. You kind of got to look at the odds, right? And it's like, I got a way better chance of getting hit by a car traveling to Colorado or Wyoming or something. A way higher chance than getting mauled by a grizzly.
Yeah.
So, I would kind of look at it like that. And if I do get mauled, I hope someone catches it on film, because that was going to be good stuff. That's going to really help the cause. So
I would recommend, too, not trying to get closer and get pictures of them.
Just pictures.
Do it from a distance and go hunt, go a different direction.
Yeah. But if you're smart about it, what is it? Every year, maybe 2?
It's a handful across the western states that – yeah, actually. And a lot of times it's just I hate to say it, it's like people that are being mostly irresponsible are the ones that are getting getting mauled and attacked,
Right. Not seeing the signs kind of, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the last guy I knew here, this was years ago, they got mauled by a black bear here, and it was not very big, but he was hunting it during season. He wounded it during season and went down there without a weapon. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have anything. And that bear was waiting for him because it wasn't a lethal shot. And he did get tore up pretty good, but his buddy saved him. But I mean, he obviously should have had something when he went down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely keep your eyes.
That being said, if you guys get mauled or something, not our deal. That's not our deal.
Disclaimer.
Leave your bear spray in your pack.
We take zero responsibility for that. Oh, shoot.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
So
Richard, you
stuff.
one.
So what, I know you said y'all started this in 2007. What does it mean to y'all to get to go hunting with your best friends every year? I mean, brothers, best friends, is that part of it for y'all, or what's, just what does it mean to y'all?
Sure. No, man, when we set out to do this, we wrote down some stuff that we still live by to this day, and we actually think about it every single season, if not every single video that we put out. We've wanted to do this to entertain, to educate, and maybe inspire somebody to do something that they thought they couldn't. So those three things, like every single season, we think about those things. And if we're doing that, if that's down our lane, if we can cover one of those things, if we can educate somebody, or we can entertain somebody, or we can inspire somebody to do something different, then that's what makes us tick, honestly. And we talk about it all the time. We share this in our hunting party and stuff. And so you'll notice, especially like this year, what you're going to see is us hunting with a lot of different people. I don't even think I'll even carry a bow this whole season. I will be just hunting with and helping people and calling for people. Yeah, I don't even think I will have a bow in my hands, which is totally okay with me. But it's that whole thing of, like you talked about, the brotherhood is working for something greater, right? Working for something that's bigger than just me going out and saying, I got to kill an elk. That's not the goal necessarily for the group. And so if we kind of keep it that way, honestly, what we've found is if we work together and we work as a team, and we just, we realize it only takes one, we're going to be successful. If we're going to be selfless, it's weird how selfless leads to success, I guess. And it's just amazing how we've seen it time and time and time again, to where if you give up something for another person, it's going to return every single time. So, Steve, can you elaborate on any of that?
No, you nailed it. That's how we started it. And I mean, it's so true. It just helping other people is like, it's, when we were young, I mean, we went out, we hunted, and we hunted to harvest animals. We wanted to be successful, but anymore, it's, if we can help somebody be successful, it's so much bigger for us. I mean, especially for me, it's not about me necessarily harvesting an animal anymore, but I mean, just like when Trevor and I took White out, and White got to shoot that bear on my bear tag. I mean, that was such a huge moment for me that it was just, I don't know. It was just such a big moment to be able to see the excitement and the success for him was just, I mean, that made my year right there. It's the moments like that nowadays for me that are just they're just awesome. I mean, that's just love it.
Yep. I would totally agree.
It's definitely the brotherhood for me, like Richard and I are 8 years apart, and, life gets in the way. He gets married. I'm going to college, life just happens, and people tend to drift apart. And I think, Trent, I think I told you this before previously, just talking through emails, because of you guys and me and him and my dad getting to go hunting, that's all we talk about now. it brought us back closer together. And,
Awesome.
I think just what y'all have done and what y'all have created, y'all have definitely educated, inspired us, and as well as many others out there, but definitely the brotherhood.
Oh, appreciate that, guys. Really, really appreciate that. That's awesome. We're doing the right thing. We can keep going. We can keep going. We're doing the right thing, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, just to kind of speak to that too, like it's, you guys have helped educate us, inspire us, and to what y'all said, like trying to help educate people. Like we're not subject matter experts by any stretch of the imagination, but that was one thing when we started to do this, where we said, let's share what we experience with people to, just to show them that, hey, this is somebody who's never done this before, has always wanted to do it. Just showing them that, yeah, it really is possible.
Yeah.
And, hopefully along the way we can gain the knowledge and share that knowledge and, just keep passing it on. That's one of our, I don't know if you want to say mottos or,
sure.
Just one thing that we said we wanted to do with this was, keep traditions alive, keep traditions going, and just put that out there.
Pass them
down.
down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it sounds like we're the same, guys. We're going to hunt together one of these days.
Oh, man.
I'm afraid you guys would be let down, but
to get guys would be.
I don't think there'd be any way of being let down at all. Seriously, like that was one thing last year. Like, we're packing up camp, we're getting in the truck, and we're literally, like right now we're talking about next year. And as soon as we got in the truck to drive back home last year, we were already talking about this year. Didn't necessarily know how the year was going to unfold. And
right. I blame Will, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That makes two of us. You feel free to jump in on that bandwagon.
All in.
But it
I already had elk season planned out from September 11th to the 20th.
Yeah,
you gotta plan your kids the same way, but that's
but were we successful last year? No, but
were you?
That's kind of where I was going with it. Like just the experience and getting out there and just being out there, existing in it, experiencing it, having that time to share with each other. I could care less that we weren't bringing
honestly, Richard, it wasn't till too many years ago that, when we started this, we've morphed into a lot of different things since we've started, obviously, but man, the whole success thing, we got to a point where we were so hard on ourselves. Like if we didn't kill one, we would just, it would just be like, man, we would be hard on ourselves. And it hasn't been until just the last few years till we've honestly just kind of dropped that whole thing and been like, okay, if we don't kill one, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And a lot of times, honestly, in our YouTube side of things, a lot of people's favorite hunts are when we don't kill anything, just because, that's me. That is me right there. And that's, I always, how many days do we go out and not hear a bugle or not, nothing. And it's just like, it's realistic. Right. So, yeah, definitely.
And that was one thing that we both said that, when we were watching, The Land of the Free and just all of those, like that's what we loved about it. Like it was, okay, here's somebody who's out there, doing this stuff, and they're not successful all the time, just like we're not. Like it's not. So that's one thing I love about y'all stuff is it's real. It's relatable.
Yeah,
it's a brother.
Yeah.
That's where we can relate to it.
Yeah. Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I think we got, let's see, we got two questions left for you guys.
Let's do it.
These kind of aim, I guess, towards, everybody. What does your list of honeydews look like before you're gone in September?
You've seen most of mine, I think, on the Instagram. Cody's been watching me film. Shoot. Cody, or not Cody, but Steve, he does the vacation thing. He's got his honeydews aren't terrible. Minus the Disneyland, though. Minus the Disneyland. That's pretty rough.
Disneyland's horrific.
Yeah.
But this year I had a buddy help me repaint the house. I had to cut the big hedges. I had to get the yard all done. And then we just got back from the vacation. So since I have been fortunate to travel all over the Western United States to hunt big game in some of the most beautiful country, that we started doing family trips to national parks 2 years ago. We went to the Zions in southern Utah in the summer, which was like 107 and 8. I don't recommend going that time. And then this year we just got back from Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. So where my wife and my girls could see some of the country and the stuff that I spend my time in the outdoors with my buddies, brothers, chasing animals. So that's kind of been my honeydews now is family trips.
There you go. Yeah. No, and my honeydews, yeah, dude, your vacation looks so much fun. And like around here, like we help each other out too, like if Steve needed some trees cut or I'm usually needing something plumbed or something like that, he comes over and helps me out. And we kind of share that kind of stuff too a little bit, but no, it's just normal maintenance around the house,
Well, that's the one thing too. I don't know. I mean, we show a little bit, but a lot of people don't realize that it's not just hunting season for us. I mean, it's a brotherhood. We help each other whenever we need each other. We're there for each other. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool.
Ride together, we die together.
That's right.
Yep. True.
Love it.
Richard, you got the last one?
Yeah. This one kind of a little bit of a fun one just to kind of wrap things up. If you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Oh, this is easy. Start YouTube right now. When we started out in 2007, guys, there was a guy that actually helped us to kind of put the films together and stuff and the video editing and stuff. And he did some green screen stuff with us. And he was really, really knowledgeable in that realm. And in 2007, it's right just after YouTube out. He's like, dude, you guys got to do this YouTube thing. Put your stuff on YouTube. And we're like, yeah, right. Yeah, that's never DVDs. Now that's the way to go, and it's, that's just crazy cat videos, right? On YouTube. That's not anything, but if we would have started back then, oh my gosh, it would have been.
Was there even YouTube back then? I don't think there was.
Yeah, there was. No, there was. He told us to do. Yeah.
When did YouTube start?
Just after the internet. I mean, it's been around for a long time. It just never got really popular until TV. The whole TV thing it's on its way out. So
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That shows you how much I was paying attention to it when I was 18.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, honestly, if I could go back to talk to myself at 18, I would have kicked my butt right through that. Right through the door of I would have joined the service. I would have joined the Army probably and served this country. If I could go back, that's probably what I would have told myself to do.
That's pretty good. But
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I ended up meeting my wife, and she kept me on the good path, and and went there. But I wasn't a bad kid. I just, looking back now, I wish I would have. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have served this country.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thankful for all those people that served for us and been able to protect us.
Yes.
And
give us the opportunities that we do have.
Yes.
We cannot pay them back enough, man.
Yep. 100%.
Land of the free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. They make it possible for us to live our awesome lives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Every single day. It's pretty, their sacrifices. It's pretty amazing. So
it is.
Yeah,
definitely
super humbling.
Well, cool guys. Well, last one, if y'all can share this with us, where are y'all headed this fall on the Land of the Free 3.0?
Yeah, so everywhere. It seems like this year. So so the whole Land of the Free thing, it was kind of brought back by popular demand. And I think we started out with Land of the Free, and then we did, it was so, everybody loved it. So we did 2.0. Then we kind of last year went off track a little bit, not off track. We just wanted to do something different because we didn't want it to be, 3.0, 4.0, but now we're kind of revisiting it again. And it's just going to be every elk season that we do is going to be just called Land of the Free. We're not going to do it in seasons. We're not going to do it. We're just going to call it Land of the Free. And it speaks volumes on a lot of different levels where, anybody can do it. And it does military stuff as far as talking in the freedoms that we get to have, all of that kind of stuff. So we're starting out here in Oregon. Steve, this weekend, actually, just a few days off. I will hunt with Trevor and Steve in Oregon, and then I will take off to Colorado. Cody takes off tomorrow for Wyoming. He's going to hunt with the hunting public guys in Wyoming. And I'll be in Colorado with Lake Fork guy. I don't know if you guys know. They're Texas guys.
It's in Rackley.
Yeah, Rackley. Yeah. He seems like a really cool dude. So
that'll be awesome.
Anyway, he's never killed an elk before, and so I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, and then Trevor and Steve will meet up with me in Colorado when, Steve?
Next Friday. Not this Friday, but what is that? Yeah, like the 5th, something like that.
So then they'll meet up, and then we'll hunt for the next 7 days or so with them, and then we'll move down to New Mexico. Cody has a tag in New Mexico, so we'll go down there and hunt on that tag, and then we'll also meet up with Lunkers TV.
Oh yeah,
because he's a Texas dude too. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to meet up with him and go through that, and then New Mexico, and then Steve will come back to Oregon, and then
Trevor and I fly back and finish out Oregon season.
Yep, Trevor and Steve are going to come and finish out in Oregon, and then Cody and I will jump up from New Mexico clear to northern Montana, which is going to be a drive. Yeah. So, and anyway, and Cody's got a Montana tag, and we'll hunt it with, and that's when we'll team up with Dirk Durham. He'll be there too. He drew a pretty good tag, in Montana. So then we'll finish out there, I don't know, October 5th, 8th. I don't know. As long as it takes us to fulfill what we want to do, whether it be have a good experience, something, either or. So, and then we'll come home. That's what we're doing after that.
Now, have you
long season
go before?
New Mexico, I never have. Steve, no, we did last year. Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did for an hour.
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
It was quick. It was quick. But how many years ago when I flew down and called for Trevor?
That's a few years ago.
4 years ago? Yeah, for him and your dad.
Yeah. So. And they both killed some bulls down there. I didn't get to go on that trip, but I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Mexico looks pretty.
That sounds like a great season that y'all got planned ahead. Wish we could be going out ourselves, but it's a brotherhood thing for us, and we'll have to take a rain check till next year.
But next year,
you guys got some planning to do.
Yeah,
we've been planning for a couple months already.
I love it. Well, if there's ever any way we can help you guys out, let us know, please. And,
for sure.
We'll definitely do whatever we can to help you guys out.
We appreciate that, guys. We do. And we really appreciate y'all taking the time to meet with us tonight, talk with us, talk elk hunting. And, we know y'all got a busy schedule coming up. Y'all are getting things packed up, things ready to go hit the mountain, chase after some elk. And so we really want to thank y'all for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
it was
Thank
fun.
you, man.
It was a good
Thank
time.
you, guys.
this has set the bar pretty high for us. So
Nelly.
No,
No.
yeah, no. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
thank y'all. Good luck to you, and can't wait to see all the footage from the season this year.
Can't wait.
Yep. Hopefully we can. Yeah. Hopefully we can find an elk.
Yes.
Something tells me that's going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will try.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks again, guys. Like I said, we really appreciate it. And, we can't thank y'all enough for tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
thank you.
Be safe. Be safe this year to everybody listening.
Hey, y'all be safe. Y'all be safe too.
Sounds
All
good,
right.
man.
Take care, guys.
Hey,
Y'all too.
guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
And that was episode 2 of the Weekend Outdoorsman podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. Like we said in episode 1, we're learning as we go. So if you've made it this far with us, thank you so much. Thanks again to Steve Howard and Trent Fisher of the Born and Raised Outdoors crew. We really appreciate them taking the time to sit down and talk with us. Like we said, there's some pretty heavy hitters and very experienced in the elk hunting world and outdoors in general. So I know we learned a lot from them. Hopefully you all did too. If you've got questions for them, want to learn more about them and what they're up to, check them out on social media. They're on Facebook. Just look for Born and Raised Outdoors, Instagram, Born and Raised Outdoors as well. They also have the Born and Raised audio experience. That's their podcast. It's pretty awesome. Y'all should check that out as well. And then YouTube, Land of the Free 2.0, and just all sorts of amazing outdoors content. So check them out. We've been big fans of theirs. We've watched and learned a lot from them, so hopefully you're able to do the same. Once again, thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the Weekend Outdoorsman podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Boom. Hell yeah.